Alright, history buffs and hopeless romantics, buckle up. We're heading back to the Middle Ages. Forget shiny knights and fairy tale castles. If you think you'd survive even one day in this so-called romantic era, you wouldn't last 24 hours. Here's why. First stop, hygiene. You wake up in 1325? Congratulations, you're sharing your bed with fleas, lice, and maybe a rat or two. Nature's alarm clock. And when it's time to use the bathroom, no toilet, just a wooden bucket, already full. Once you're done, you toss it out the window, straight into the street, the same street you'll be walking down later. Now, don't think medieval people never washed. They tried. Communal bathhouses were popular, hand washing before meals was common, but let's be real. Open sewers, filthy rushes on the floor, and water that carried every disease imaginable meant you were living in a biological nightmare. By breakfast, you'd already be itchy, smelly, and probably a little sick. Speaking of breakfast, forget avocado toast. You're eating potage, basically vegetable sludge, and maybe a stale chunk of bread. If you're unlucky, that bread's laced with ergot fungus, which could make you hallucinate, or worse. Want a drink? Don't even think about water. It's basically liquid disease. So you drink weak ale all day, which means you're slightly buzzed while slowly wrecking your teeth, because toothbrushes are twigs and toothpaste is salt. And then there's disease. A cough today is nothing. Back then, it could kill you. No antibiotics, no real medicine, just leeches, herbs, and bloodletting. Oh, and the Black Death. That little beauty wiped out half of Europe. One infected flea bite, and you're done. Work life? You're a serf. Congratulations. You're basically tied to the land, working dawn till dusk, 6 days a week. Back-breaking farm work, lousy pay, and your survival depends on the weather. Too much rain, too little sun, early frost, you starve. And if famine doesn't get you, fire or plague will. Step out of line, justice is brutal. Steal bread, it's the stocks, the whip, or worse. Medieval courts loved trial by ordeal, like throwing you in a river to see if you float. Spoiler, either way, you lose. And war? Forget the Hollywood charge of knights in shining armor. It's mud, chaos, screaming, and sharp metal flying everywhere. If you're a peasant, you're handed a spear, shoved into battle, and left to die. If you survive, infection will probably finish the job. So, let's recap your perfect medieval day. You woke up in filth, ate contaminated food, dodged dysentery, worked like a slave, risked execution, and barely escaped war. By sunset, you're exhausted, terrified, and covered in fleas. So, next time you complain about slow Wi-Fi or a lukewarm latte, remember, you wouldn't last 24 hours in medieval times. Not a chance.